The Judicial Service Commission will over the next 8 days interview candidates nominated for positions in various superior courts. 42 candidates will be interviewed at Melrose Arch, that's in Johannesburg, with the aim of filling 24 vacancies. Newzroom Afrika's Mohlaoli is our reporter on the story. He's live to us now in our studio for a sense of what's ahead. And my goodness, so much to speak about, Tommy. Perhaps let's begin with what we know about these candidates. Who are they?
Well, in terms of the candidates themselves, we have a very wide range of candidates. And what is interesting about the candidates themselves, looking about today and over the next week or so, is that we're going to have quite a wide representation of candidates. This has been something that has been at the forefront of the transformation of the judiciary in terms of the agenda that has been put forward. We see very many female candidates that will be coming forward who have penned some very interesting judgments, and judgments that have had far-ranging impact in terms of both the judiciary and the overall landscape of South Africa. So this is something that is going to be quite interesting. And because we have female candidates that will be fielded particularly today and throughout the next week or so, don't expect that they will be treated with any kid gloves. This is something that they can expect from basically the interviewees or those who are conducting the interviews. And those who are conducting the interviews, Ayanda, must be said, for the benefit of those who are going to be watching, will come from a cross-section of South Africa society. This will include, of course, members of the judiciary, in terms of members of judicial boards, in terms of members of, lawyers, practicing practitioners, but it also includes political parties and civil society. So they'll certainly be put through their paces. What will be of interest, particularly when you look at the courts that are going to be filled in terms of vacancies, is the process of how these courts play out in terms of the execution and rolling out of justice. The judiciary has been criticized in the past about the fact that justice delayed is justice denied. Why this plays out of importance is because many of these courts, when cases have come before them in the past, have had to then basically defer those judgments or basically put them onto another court or a higher court, which would obviously be the constitutional court. Those matters then be put back, and this has been something that has delayed very, very, very key judgments and has been seen to be sticking the wheels of justice and making sure they don't roll as effectively as they should. So filling those vacancies, what will the panelists be looking for? They will be looking for the judgments that has been penned by these particular candidates, and whether the time frames with which they have taken in reaching the judgments, and how these judgments have played out, whether these judgments have been taken up on review or whether these judgments have stood. So this is something that will be of key interest.
Absolutely. There has been criticism around the efficiency of the courts, if you like. You speak about, the interviewees, the candidates being put through their paces. It does bring us to a discussion around who the panelists actually are, who are going to be conducting the interviews. What do we know about that?
Well, we certainly do know that the panelists who are conducting the interviews will come from the political landscape. This will be political parties. We know that, of course, this will include political parties represented in the parliament. And, of course, some of the other panelists will be members of the judiciary themselves. There will be judges. There will be, of course, legal practitioners, as well as members of other legal professions, those who have a key interest in the legal professions. That will also include, watchdogs within the legal fraternity, and it will also include members of civil society. So it is quite a broad spectrum from those panelists, something that is quite important because the JSC is conscious that these particular candidates, when they are being put through their paces, must be questioned on issues that affect all aspects of civil society or society in general, because their judgments will have a bearing on those particular sectors of the South African society.
Very important development, this. Tumaole, thanks very much indeed. We'll be watching those interviews with you as they continue to unfold in Melrose Arch. Once again, Tumaole, thanks very much for your time.